Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, all about me lifestyle. Today I will be making curry chicken and fufu. Here's my natural seasoning: scallion, thyme, and scotch bonnet pepper, garlic, bell pepper, and onion. So I'm going to have them all chopped up and placed in the container with my chicken that is already washed. I'm using the chicken breast and the chicken wing today. So now I am going to be adding the powder seasoning, and first we're going in with the curry powder, and I'm going to be generous with it because I love curry. And then next we are going in with the slap your mama. After we put the slap your mama in, we're going to be putting in some Italian seasoning. And after Italian seasoning, we will be putting in some chicken bouillon. Okay? In Jamaica, we usually use the Maggi, but this is what I have, and it works just the same. So guys, you put in the amount of seasoning that fits your taste bud, whatever tastes good to you, okay? So I'm going in with my bare hands, and I'm going to be rubbing this season, the natural season, and the powder seasoning together in the chicken, trying to get the chicken to soak up everything, you know. And then while this is done, I'm going to add some carrots and celery. The celery is optional, guys. I only put the celery because I do not like Irish potatoes. Okay, I'll put it in there sometimes, but I don't feel like putting it in there today, guys, because no. So this is what it's looking like so far. So I'm going to put this to marinate while I start on my fufu. So this is my cassava, guys. It's already been soaked in water, and the reason I soak it is to get the starch out. And it's the frozen one that I use because that's what I have on hand right now. So in the US they call this the yucca yam, but in Jamaica we call it cassava. So I already have that cut up over there, and now I'm going to be peeling my plantain because my fufu is going to be plantain and cassava. So this is how I peel my plantain, guys. I'm Jamaican, and this is how I peel my plantain. Now the fufu is not a staple food of Jamaica, okay? So when you're making it, you can use different types of ground provisions, okay? So you can use the cassava, you can use sweet potato, you can use yam. I don't know if you can use anything else, but yeah, and if you want to combine Irish in it too, you can, but with me I'm not going to do the Irish because I don't like Irish potato. And also you're going to put some salt in it. What the salt does is kind of pull the flavor up out of the fufu. So with the fufu you just add salt whenever you're blending it out in the blender, or you can add more as you cook, as you go along cooking. And even though I'm using these ingredients, guys, once the fufu is cooked, it doesn't really have a taste. Okay? It doesn't really have a taste. What happens is whatever you are cooking, whatever meat kind, vegetables, stew, whatever you're cooking with the fufu, when you break off a piece of the fufu and take that meat up with it, or sauce or soup or whatever, the fufu is going to take the flavor. It's going to absorb the flavor that you're eating with the fufu, if you get what I'm saying. But while you're eating it with your meat, like with my curry chicken, it's really good. So I'm putting it in the blender here. And then I'm going over here to do my curry chicken. So I thought I was recording when I had started the chicken. So it wasn't recording, so I'll explain that part to you. I put some oil in the pot to hot, and then about a tablespoon of curry powder in that oil, and kind of, flip it a little bit, like saute it like with a spoon in the pot to cook the curry. Okay, in Jamaica we say burn the curry. Okay, is to bring up the flavor in the curry in the oil before you start adding your chicken. So my chicken is added in the pot now, and then I'm going to be turning it little by little in the pot with the spoon here. And then after that, I will be putting some water in the same container that I seasoned my chicken in. And I'm going to be pouring it in the pot with my curry chicken. And I usually pour the water to about the same level as the chicken, because that's how I cook my curry chicken, guys. If you cook your curry chicken different, you can comment below and let me know how you cook your curry chicken. But this is how I was taught by my mom how to cook my curry chicken, guys. So I'm going to cover the pot a little bit, and then I'm going to check it back again, and the pot a bubble. So yeah, just kind of stirring it a little bit more in the pot, moving it up some, and then I'm going to cover it up and let it cook down like in a stew. So we're going back over here to our cassava and plantain that we already put in our blender, and we will be adding some water to this. And then we are going to start blending. And guys, when you start blending your fufu, you're going to be watching for the texture. And you're going to be watching that there's no chunks or lumps into your fufu, okay? Because we're trying to get a creamy texture so we can pour it in the pot to cook. So if you see any lumps in your blender or any lumps on the side or pieces of plantain or cassava, we're going to use a wooden spoon and push it down. Because when it's mixing, we want to make sure that everything is mixing together for that smooth texture. That way when we're putting it in the pot, we don't have any chunks or any lumps in the pot, okay? So here I'm adding some more water, and I just add my water little by little. Not too much, at once. And then you're going to blend until you get that texture that you're looking for. And usually when it starts becoming smooth, then that's when I'm going to add some salt. So this is the salt I'm using. And I'm just going to add a little bit, not too much. And as you cook your fufu and it starts to fluff in your pot, you can add more salt. But like I said before, fufu doesn't really have any taste. It takes the taste, or I should say it absorbs the taste of your soup or your stew or your chicken or whatever you're eating with it. So when you break off a piece and you pick up your chicken, like the sauce and stuff, your fufu is gonna take that flavor. But I know a lot of people that eat fufu, they swallow it. Okay, so they don't chew it, they just swallow it and they eat the meat. But let me tell you, I wasn't raised on it, so I have to chew mine. So, okay, I'm not a pro. I chew my fufu with my curry chicken and it's gonna absorb that flavor. But it's a very nice combination, okay? Fufu and curry chicken. And it's very gliding too, guys, meaning that it's sort of like a comfort food. It fills you up. So my fufu is finished blending and I'm just shaking off all the excess off the blade here because around here, not now waste, not now dash way. You see that smooth texture? It's ready for the pot. And my pot is already hot on the stove, guys, because I had the fire on. And my pot is ready to get this fufu. So I'm going to be scraping it in the pot. And once I scrape it all out of the container, out of the blender here, guys, I'm going to be using the same wooden spoon to start stirring. Because fufu, guys, you have to keep stirring it. And when you're stirring it, sometimes it's going to get thick, so you're going to add more water. But once you start stirring, you stir for a while until you start feeling that texture with the spoon. Then you're going to cover it with the lid, cover the pot with the lid, and you let it cook on low, like around medium heat or a little lower than medium heat. You let it cook for about 4 to 5 minutes and then you check back on it, on the texture that you are getting, you know, while you're turning it with the wooden spoon. As you become a pro at doing this, as you stir, like in the last part, when it's cooked, it's going to be leaving the sides of the pot. So the pot should be looking clean when, you know, when it's cooked. So you add in the water as you mix your fufu with a spoon, is that the water is what's cooking the fufu. You know, it's putting that moisture in the plantain and the cassava so that it can get fluff and move from the sides of the pot. So you see it's getting stretchy and thick here. So I'm going to keep on stirring. Keep on stirring this fufu because I want it to be the right texture. And once it's cooked, it's going to be fluffed and it's going to be looking like a dough. Like a bread dough before you bake it. So you keep on stirring it. Keep on stirring it. And then you have to put the lid back on there and let it cook some more. Here I'm adding some more water because it's kind of thick. Sometimes you stir it, it's like you're fighting with a spoon on the pot. And I'm just making a little fufu, guys, not a lot, you know. So it's kind of getting thick and stretchy, so I'm going to cover it at this stage here and let it cook down. Because as it cooks down, it's going to be leaving the sides of the pot, like I told you before. So I'm going to go back in and check on my chicken, and it is looking good. And my fufu is cooked. Everything is done. So I'm ready to plate it, guys, to show you what it's looking like. So say fufu now, guys. Fufu and curry chicken. Guys, it tastes so good. So good. You have to try it, okay? If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to come on over and learn to make some curry chicken and fufu, okay? Be blessed, be safe, and peace. Thanks for watching.